A very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilchi, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting you through the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. Supreme Court upholds death sentence awarded to 4 convicts in the Nirbhaya gang rape case, calling it the rarest of the rare. The apex court says the crime seemed to be some different world. South Asia satellite blasts off from Sriharikota, termed as a huge boost to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's neighbourhood first policy. It is expected to take regional cooperation to new heights. Government proposes new rules for a no-fly list for unruly passengers. Punishment ranges from ban on flying for 3 months to 2 years or more without limit. And the US House of Representatives passes the healthcare bill aimed at repealing and replacing Obamacare. The Affordable Care Act now heads to the Senate for approval. Top story this Friday, the Supreme Court today upheld the death sentence of 4 convicts in the Nirbhaya gang rape case. The court observed that the case seemed to be a story of some different world. The next option for the convicts is to appeal against their death sentence to President Pranab Mukherjee.
The Supreme Court on Friday upheld the death sentence for 4 convicts in the Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case. Terming it as the rarest of rare case, the apex court said the convicts treated the victim as an object of enjoyment with the single purpose of ravishing her. The apex court also called it the most brutal and barbaric attack and said the offence had sent a tsunami of shock all over.
जिस एग्रावेटिंग और ब्रूटैलिटी से ये क्राइम हुआ है, इसका ये रेयरेस्ट ऑफ रेयर केसेस में आता है। ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जो पहले की जजमेंट है, जिसमें क्लियर लिखा है कि कलेक्टिव कॉन्शियस ऑफ द सोसाइटी अगर शॉक करती है तो रेयरेस्ट ऑफ रेयर इवेंट में आता है। तो उसमें लेते हुए ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो हाई कोर्ट की जजमेंट थी डेथ पेनल्टी की, उसको अपहोल्ड किया और उनकी अपीलों को डिसमिस कर दिया है।
The 3-judge bench headed by Justice Deepak Mishra also commended the work of the Delhi police for bringing the criminals to book. The top court said scientific evidence had established the criminal conspiracy against the accused, while also stating that the convicts tried to destroy evidence by trying to run over the victim and her friend.
दिल्ली पुलिस का जो प्रोफेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, that stands vindicated. और जो निर्भया केस जो शायद वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ग्रूसम इन द ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री, और दिल्ली पुलिस ने इसे बिट बाय बिट प्रोफेशनल तरीके से इसको इन्वेस्टिगेट किया और आज इस मुकाम पे पहुंचा है.
Nirbhaya's parents welcomed the verdict, stating that justice may have been delayed but not denied.
ये बहुत बड़ा फैसला था. यहाँ पे एक भगवान के बाद यही स्थान होता है, तो मुझे उम्मीद थी कि डर तो था, लेकिन डर से ज़्यादा हमें विश्वास था कि जिस तरह से क्राइम हुआ है वो उनको सज़ा ज़रूर मिलेगी. हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि इस फैसले से, जैसे कहते थे लोग कि मैं निर्भया की तरह तुम्हें कर दूंगा, निर्भया की तरह मार दूंगा, तो आज उनको भी जवाब मिला कि मैं निर्भया की तरह अगर किसी के साथ करूंगा तो निर्भया की तरह हमें फांसी की सजा भी मिलेगी.
The defense lawyer, however, said the convicts should be given another chance and that they will now proceed with a review petition.
समाज में मैसेज के लिए किसी को फांसी नहीं दे सकते. पनिशमेंट का अर्थ है, पनिशमेंट का मतलब है सुधार, उसे सुधारा जाए. महात्मा गांधी के सिद्धांत की तो धज्जियां उड़ गईं. महात्मा गांधी जी ने कहा था नॉन वायलेंस, अहिंसा होनी चाहिए, अहिंसा है. ह्यूमन राइट्स की तो धज्जियां उड़ गईं. जीने का अधिकार है, जो जीवन देता है वही जीवन ले सकता है.
The apex court's decision was also welcomed by women activists and political parties.
The Supreme Court today, by giving death sentence to all the rapists of Nirbhaya, they have in a way emboldened all the Nirbhayas in this country and given a very tight slap to all the rapists.
भारत के कानून में जो रेयरेस्ट ऑफ द रेयर केस में फांसी की सजा का प्रावधान है, तो आज कोर्ट ने निर्णय किया है. मैं इससे खुद बहुत ही सुकून महसूस करता हूं और आज के दिन निर्भया की आत्मा को अपनी ओर से विनम्र संवेदना.
Judgment will create the fear of law in the mind of people who think they can get away with anything. they will realize that the arm of law is very long and it is not possible always to get away.
On the night of December 16, 2012, Nirbhaya, a 23-year-old paramedic, was brutally assaulted and raped by 6 persons in a moving bus. A fast-track court sentenced 4 convicts to death that was upheld by the Delhi High Court. One of the accused, Ram Singh, allegedly committed suicide in the Tihar jail, while a convicted juvenile was sentenced to 3 years of punishment in a reform home. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Another one of our headline stories, the GSAT-09 was launched successfully from Sriharikota a short while back. The satellite will be networked with all SAARC countries except Pakistan, who did not come on board, citing its own space program. The South Asia satellite was described by Prime Minister Modi as India's priceless gift to its neighbours.
South Asia satellite, also known as the GSAT-09 communication satellite, blasted off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota at 4:57 p.m. on Friday, going into orbit 36,000 kilometers above Earth. The satellite, which is India's gift to its neighboring countries, was launched using the fully indigenous geostationary launch vehicle Mark II. The 28-hour countdown for the launch began on Thursday. Set to propel regional cooperation between SAARC member nations to new levels, GSAT-09's successful launch is a huge boost to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's neighbourhood first policy.
7, 8, 9.
We have just transported South Asia satellite, a communication satellite, from Earth to geostationary transfer orbit using our geostationary launch vehicle Mark II that makes use of indigenously developed cryogenic engine. The satellite operations and control will be carried out from our master control facility Hassan, and in the coming few weeks the satellite will reach its destination of the geostationary orbit.
Built by ISRO, the South Asia satellite weighs 2,230 kilograms and has 12 Ku band transponders. The cost of the satellite is 235 crore rupees. It is cuboid in shape and built around a central cylinder with a mission life of over 12 years. This satellite will enable full range of applications and services in the areas of telecommunication, disaster management support, DTH, teleeducation and telemedicine. The satellite was announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the 2014 SAARC summit in Nepal. The South Asia satellite program, entirely funded by India, is a partnership between India and other members of the SAARC group, excluding Pakistan, which opted out of it, citing its own space program. Aruna Thakur's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The satellite launch extends Prime Minister Modi's Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas concept, also focusing on his neighbourhood first policy targeting India's South Asian neighbours. In fact, after the launch, the leaders of all SAARC nations, including Pakistan, came together via video conferencing for a joint address. Here's listening into what they had to say.
Today is a historic day for South Asia, a day without precedents. 2 years ago, India made a promise to extend the advanced space technology for the cause of growth and prosperity of our brothers and sisters in South Asia. The successful launch of the South Asia satellite marks the fulfillment of that.
I congratulate you and the Government of India for successful launching of South Asia satellite. I am glad that just a few days ago we have signed orbital frequency agreement for cooperation in South Asia satellite. I strongly believe that the betterment of the people of South Asian region depends on fruitful engagement in various fields of cooperation between the countries of this region.
The gap between talk and action is bridged today. The imperative of regional cooperation is changed to the reality. The advantages of cooperation outweigh the advantages of competition, and in the world of cooperation, We have to win a world for the poor, for the excluded, for the deprived.
The launch of the South Asia satellite today is an historic moment for the world. It is historic because this is the first time that a country has launched a satellite for the free use of its neighbors. The launch of this satellite is an impressive milestone in the history of the world, one that ushers in a new era of regional cooperation.
The launching of this satellite signifies India's neighborhood first policy and the vision and commitment of Prime Minister Modi towards the development and prosperity of the South Asia region. In November 2014, during the 18th SAARC summit, when Prime Minister Modi announced the launching of the South Asia satellite, the people of Maldives and I accepted the priceless gift, as I was fully convinced that it would help address a host of issues facing the region.
This is a testimony to South Asia becoming self-reliant in space science. We are confident that this would enhance connectivity among South Asian countries. Connectivity is key to the development. Nepal looks forward to making best use of this facility.
As government, it is our duty to provide the people the means towards a happy and prosperous life. In that regard, I hope that this initiative will support the people in the whole region by enhancing their economic and social conditions, by alleviating poverty and improving the standard of living.
The news, the government has proposed rules to penalize unruly air travellers. The DGCA's draft rules that were issued today considered a range of disturbances for which passengers may be barred from travelling for 3 months to 2 years. The government has also invited suggestions from the public for the rules that it wants to implement from July.
On March 23rd, Shiv Sena MP Ravindra Gaikwad allegedly beat up an Air India employee, after which all domestic airlines banned him from travelling. The matter was settled after the government intervened. Barely 6 weeks after the incident, the government is coming up with new rules for a no-fly list. Civil Aviation Minister Ashok Gajapati Raju says passengers who figure on the list could be banned from air travel for 3 months to 2 years.
And that is that there is no other country in the world that actually has a national no-fly list that is based on safety. There are no-fly lists around the world that are based on security, where there are people that are seen to be grave threats and therefore they are not allowed to fly. But to have a national no-fly list where we've identified individuals that because of their unruly and disruptive behavior are jeopardizing airline safety will in fact be quite unique, and India is blazing a new trail in this regard.
The list will have 3 levels of unruly passengers. The first category includes passengers indulging in disruptive behavior who will be banned for 3 months. The second will have passengers indulging in physical abuse or sexual harassment. They can be banned for 6 months. The last category will have people indulging in life-threatening behavior who will be banned for 2 years. Passengers who enter the no-fly list can approach a 3-member committee headed by a High Court judge that will decide their case within 10 days. As a last resort, passengers can approach an appeals committee as well.
एयरलाइन खुद इसमें कोई कदम नहीं उठा सकती, सिर्फ 10 दिन के लिए एयरलाइन उसको बैन कर सकती। 10 दिन के बाद अगर इस कमेटी का निर्णय आना ही आना है और उस कमेटी के निर्णय के अनुसार होगा, और कमेटी जो है स्टैंडिंग कमेटी वो एयरलाइन के कंट्रोल की कमेटी नहीं है, उसमें रिटायर्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज उसमें चेयरमैन है और एक अन्य एयरलाइन का कोई अधिकारी वो उसका सदस्य है। इस एयरलाइन का नहीं, किसी अन्य एयरलाइन का अधिकारी इसका सदस्य है। और इसके अलावा जो कंज्यूमर एसोसिएशंस हैं या पैसेंजर एसोसिएशन है उसका एक जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होगा वो इसमें सदस्य होगा।
The draft rules also propose that passenger information can be recorded on the basis of passport or any other identity card produced at the time of booking tickets. The DGCA has sought public opinion on these draft rules on its website and plans to introduce them from July. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
On to politics now. In the Samajwadi Party split vertically months after the Yadav family feud saw Akhilesh Yadav becoming the party president. On Friday, former Uttar Pradesh minister and Akhilesh's uncle Shivpal Yadav announced that he was breaking away from the Samajwadi Party. He also said that his own outfit will be headed by party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. The split comes just weeks after the Samajwadi Party suffered a crushing defeat in Uttar Pradesh that blamed the months-long feud between Shivpal and his nephew Akhilesh Yadav over control of the party. However, it is not yet clear whether the new party, called the Samajwadi Secular Morcha, will contest elections against the SP or strengthen it by bringing more socialists under one roof. With that, a look at what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. The Supreme Court issued a notice to the Maharashtra government and the NIA on the Malegaon blast accused Lieutenant Colonel Purohit's bail plea. This comes after the Bombay High Court rejected Purohit's bail plea. In the same case, another prime accused, Sadhvi Pragya Thakur, was granted bail. The Supreme Court slammed Kerala government for not reinstating IPS officer TP Senkumar as the state police chief despite its April 24th order. Kerala government will now file a reply on Monday explaining why it should not be held guilty of contempt of court. Senkumar was removed from the post of DGP in June last year. At least 14 people were killed and 28 others injured after a mini truck overturned in Uttar Pradesh's Etah. The accident took place when the vehicle carrying a 50-member wedding party drove into a canal. The district administration has announced a compensation for the families of the victims and an inquiry is on. A quick break here. Up next, we're getting all the international news. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome. I'm Amritanshu Rai and you're watching Constitutionally Yours. Assam has been witnessing unabated migration from Bangladesh.
Only 6% of the people were identified as foreigners. I will say Section 6A is unconstitutional.
Don't you think that 6A has failed the purpose for which it was enacted?
I don't think that Section 6A has lost its relevance.
Watch Constitutionally Yours on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get you more news now. And China has proposed to rename the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, provided India wishes to join the project. Now, according to the Chinese proposal, the change could be made in view of Indian sensitivities over the project that passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
China's ambassador has suggested 4 principles to improve relations between the two biggest nations of the world. They include a negotiation on the China-India Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation, restarting talks on the China-India Free Trade Agreement, ending the border dispute on priority, aligning the Chinese One Belt, One Road initiative with India's Act East policy.
Every country have their own management and just respect that management and also use the way to talk about the future cooperation. And that's no any problem for us. And also related to trade deficit. Some guys, some journalists talk regarding the trade deficit, about border deficit, this deficit and not the trust deficit. So something, it takes time to resolve the matters.
The Chinese ambassador, however, gave no indication of reconsidering India's entry bid to the NSG or the inclusion of Masood Azhar in the UN list of proscribed terrorists connected to Al-Qaeda. He also reiterated China's wish to mediate on the Kashmir issue while stating that he had done this sort of mediation in 2008 after the Mumbai terrorist attack when he was the ambassador to Pakistan.
Some things, some judgments would be quite different. And that's why as an ambassador here, I'm always optimistic about our cooperation. I'm always so self-confident to push forward our cooperation. Of course, as ambassador, Mr. Sabha understands that the term is limited. 2 years, 3 years, no more than 4 years. Sometimes quite different.
While underlining the huge developmental gap with China, the Chinese ambassador claimed that when it came to comparing GDP, India lags behind by as many as 13 years. The Chinese ambassador was addressing a gathering of strategic community at United Service Institute in Delhi on Friday. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now to the US, where President Donald Trump declared Obamacare dead after the Republican healthcare bill was narrowly passed by the lower chamber of Congress. The vote marked his first legislative victory and goes some way to keeping a key campaign promise to roll back his predecessor's law. The bill now heads to the Senate, where Republicans have indicated that they will cast it aside and write a new law.
The US House of Representatives approved a bill on Thursday to repeal major parts of Obamacare and replace it with a Republican healthcare plan, handing President Donald Trump his biggest legislative victory, but setting up a tough fight in the Senate.
And this is a great plan. I actually think it will get even better. And this is, make no mistake, this is a repeal and a replace of Obamacare. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake.
With a 217 to 213 vote, Republicans obtained just enough support to push the legislation through the House, sending it to the Senate for consideration. No Democrats voted for the bill.
I went through 2 years of campaigning, and I'm telling you, no matter where I went, people were suffering so badly with the ravages of Obamacare. And I will say this, that as far as I'm concerned, your premiums, they're going to start to come down. We're going to get this passed through the Senate. I feel so confident.
Trump took a victory lap at the White House Rose Garden after the House of Representatives approved a bill to repeal Obamacare. The bill's passage represented a step toward fulfilling a top Trump campaign pledge and a 7-year Republican quest to dismantle Democratic former President Barack Obama's signature healthcare law.
I think this is an opportunity for Speaker Ryan and President Trump, obviously, to take their curtain call bows and really take credit for the process that got them here after their earlier missteps a few months ago. So this is really the Republican caucus showing that they can hold together under very difficult circumstances.
Meanwhile, demonstrators chanted slogans in the nation's capital after the vote. They said that they would fight till the end and intensify their protests.
Thank you for being out here. We are not giving up. Only by 3 votes, they can go to the White House all day. The real vote is in November, when you take them out of office for voting against our health in any way. Thank you.
So I just think everyone should have a say over their body, and they need health care to get that done. They need to not be penalized for needing health, trying to improve their lives. They just need to help make a difference, and that starts with good health, and we all need good health care to make that happen.
Trump's effort now faces new hurdles in the Senate, where the Republicans have only a 52-seat majority in the 100-seat chamber and where just a few Republican defections could sink the bill. Democrats are hoping that the Republicans' vote to repeal Obamacare will spark a voter backlash in next year's midterm congressional elections. Some 20 million Americans gained healthcare coverage under Obama's 2010 Affordable Care Act, which has recently gathered support in public opinion polls. But Republicans have long attacked it, seeing the program as government overreach and complaining that it drives up healthcare costs. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. 6 people were killed and 31 others injured in cross-border firing by Afghan forces on Pakistani security personnel in the restive Balochistan province on Friday. Security officials said the purpose was to target 2 Pakistani checkposts in the area. Pakistani forces retaliated to the fire. Pakistan sealed the Friendship Gate at the Chaman border crossing for all kinds of transportation due to the firing. Russia, Iran and Turkey signed a memorandum backing the setting up of safe zones in Syria at the 4th round of peace talks held in Kazakhstan. The 4 safe zones will be in Idlib and Homs province, in eastern Ghouta and the south. Now, the agreement provided a ban on all flights, rapid and uninterrupted deliveries of humanitarian aid to the designated areas. China's first domestically built large passenger jet, C919, took off on its maiden flight on Friday. The twin-engine plane took off from Shanghai Pudong International Airport. It has a maximum seat capacity of 190 and will have a range between 4,075 and 5,555 kilometers. The flight makes China the fourth jumbo jet producer after the US, Europe and Russia. It also marks a milestone for COMAC. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited military facilities in the southwest islets of Jangjae and Mu on Friday. Kim said that all combat positions are fully ready to go into action. The visit came at a time of mounting tensions in the Korean peninsula after US bombers and warships showed the strength in training drills with the South Korea and Japanese forces this week. Rescuers picked up 560 migrants from unsafe boats off the coast of Libya on Thursday. Italian Navy and Coast Guard boats participated in the rescues together with 2 humanitarian vessels. The Phoenix, a rescue ship operated by the MOAS, took 422 on board and the body of the alleged murdered young Gambian. Sports News 9, for the first time in 21 years, the Indian football team has climbed into the top 100 in the latest FIFA rankings. India, who have 331 points, are tied for the 100th spot alongside Nicaragua, Lithuania and Estonia, but are now 11th in the Asian Confederation. India last found themselves in the top 100 way back in 1996, when the 94th rank that India achieved in February 1996 is their highest ranking till date. The national team have secured victories in 11 of their last 13 matches, scoring 31 goals in the process. Brazil remains at the top of the FIFA World Rankings, Argentina continuing in the second place, while World Cup winner Germany in third, followed by Chile on fourth. Iran continues to be the highest ranking country in Asia as they held on to the 28th spot. And in hockey, India on Friday lost to host Malaysia 0-1 in the final round-robin game at the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup. The Indian players tried hard to put up a decent attack but failed to do so till the very end. Going into the match, India had a +2 goal difference, having scored 10 goals and conceding 8 to their opponents. Host Malaysia lost 3 of their previous 4 matches after starting with a draw against Japan. India will face New Zealand now on Saturday. In the earlier matches, Great Britain defeated New Zealand 3-2 in their last league fixture. That's all we have for you in the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.